Greetings, all. Let's talk about garden power tools. That's the rain on the roof. Yeah, garden power tools. There have been some advancements and real changes in the power tool line in the last few years. Electricity and battery technology is really making leaps and bounds. Previously in my horticultural career, I have always been a believer in gas-powered tools, mostly because they have the torque, they have the power, they're very portable, they didn't have cords, and if they stop running, you can usually pour some more gas in them and they start again. Okay, those are the advantages of a lot of the gas-powered tools, but obviously the negatives to them are as well. They burn petroleum, it's a carbon footprint. You run out of gas, you got to go to the station, you got to get oil to mix with the stuff. You have to keep them tuned up. There's a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff that wears out in a gas engine, and so on. They're complicated, and the worst part of them is the recoil. There's nothing in the world that's sitting there with your chainsaw and going, brr, 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 and it doesn't start. And then you end up with a blister on the finger and the skin's coming off, and maybe worse, you pull the recoil cord right out. This has happened to me many times. Many times. So, recently we went ahead and we put full photovoltaics on the house with a Tesla Powerwall battery system and all this, and then decided, the heck with it. We got rid of the gas car. We bought ourselves a Chevy electric Bolt. We love it. It's beautiful. I just came back from town. It charges by the sun. Well, over here behind me on the wall, you can see here's a Steel HS45, that's a hedge trimmer. Over here we got the FS130, that's a weed whacker, Here on the shelf I got a couple of steel saws. This is one of the bigger ones. What is this? This is the MS250. I got a littler one up there on the wall too. And these are great tools. I like steel. It's a good brand. Generally speaking, I don't have a lot of trouble with them. The little bit of trouble I have had, they've covered it. Okay, so Steel's good company. I haven't got any complaints with them, but just recently, Ellen came to me before Christmas and she says, Bill, I want a hedge trimmer I can use around here. And I said, well, I got one. She says, that's gas. Let's get that, I don't want to use that one. I want an electric hedge trimmer, one I just got to push the trigger. Well, previously in my life, either most electric hedge trimmers had a cord, which give me 15 minutes and I cut the cord off almost every time you give me one of those. Plus, most of them are really pretty junky. They're not pro model machines at all. The battery ones they had for years, they were no power and they ran down and so on. We now have battery technology, though, with the lithium ions and that, where we can actually get something going with these tools. Well, and then, of course, me thinking, wow, no more gasoline. I can just plug this into the wall and run it off my solar collectors. Okay, so I went shopping and I wanted to get one of Steel's electrics for Ellen. That was my plan since I'm kind of a steel guy. But when I got to Hilo, I find out, Hawaii's a little old-fashioned. The steel dealers have not caught up with the top-of-the-line steel electrical equipment yet. They're not bringing it in. People here are still using the gas. And so she says, well, I can order you one. I said, no, I'll find something I can buy on the floor. Well, I found this, and it's a Wyobee. It works good. Ellen likes it. It's okay. We're happy with it. It'll only run, I think 25 to 40 minutes or so before she runs out of juice. Yeah, it doesn't run that long, but it runs long enough for Ellen. And so, looking at that, I get kind of interested. It works pretty good. And so I started looking at two different categories of electric battery-powered power tools. One is Steel's line, and Steel does have a really, really nice line, although I'm going to have to ship it in here if I want it, which is sad. Some of them are pretty expensive. One of the chainsaws I laid my eyes on that I said, yep, that's the one I want. Well, it's about $750, so they aren't giving them away. They're almost double what the gas ones are yet. But then in the meantime, Ellen's shopping around trying to find something. She wants a little electric chainsaw of some kind, something she can trim coffee branches and stuff with. It's not too big and scary. And so she came up with a tool by Milwaukee. Milwaukee Power Tools, you're probably familiar with them. Most of my carpenter and mechanical tools are Milwaukee. I'm into those guys. Used them professionally when I was a maintenance man and a welder, and I still use them today here in the home. I think they're excellent tools. I've never had a problem with Milwaukee. Okay, well, Milwaukee is entering and is partially in and continuing to enter the horticultural battery-powered tool line, and that makes me happy because previously it was only steel that I had much to say about. So, like I say, I'm a Milwaukee guy. See, there's a Sawzall, right? I got buffers up here by Milwaukee, and I got drills, electric drills by Milwaukee. I have both corded and battery-powered electric drills by Milwaukee. And their battery-powered tools are very good, and the drills will last quite a while. So, Ellen came up with this tool by Milwaukee that is just coming onto the market they call a hatchet. It's so cool. Here's a picture. It's just got this little short 6-inch chainsaw blade. So it's like a hatchet, I like the handles, the way they're set up on it. They look really good. It looks like a very functional tool. Also, it's the only thing like it. Steel has something a little bit like it, but not nearly close. This baby is real. I like the looks of it. We are going to get one. I'll be buying it probably because Ellen asked for it, but I might have to buy two. Yeah, it's pretty cool. The problem with it is the only problem. This stuff is so new. You have to pre-order the tool. It isn't even out there yet. It'll be probably later September before they're going to start shipping these this year. But, that's the same with a lot of this electric stuff. You want Tesla's truck, well, maybe next year, Ford has an electric truck, maybe next year. Ford has they call it a Mustang. It ain't a Mustang. That's next year. Cadillac's coming out with an electric car. I saw it on the news this morning. It looks like a Cadillac. They say it's got a 300-mile range on it, which is acceptable enough. A little bit more than my Chevy. And that's why it's a Cadillac, right? So, this stuff is all on the edge. If you started to get into running things on the sun, getting rid of the coal, getting rid of the nuke plants, getting rid of the oil, getting rid of the propane, throw it all out. You can run the whole 9 yards off the sun. Let's get down to the basics, right? What's power? Without power, we don't have a world. Our technology is shot. One of these days, if the grid goes down during a solar flare, it's all going to turn to ones and zeros and disappear into outer space, and we may never know what these people were all about 2,000 years in the future. But, it's all about exciting electrons in a wire. You get a wire on the wall, got electrons in the copper strand in there, and you want to get one of those copper electrons to hit the next one and hit another one and hit another one and hit another one and hit another one and start doing a conga line. So they're dancing down the wire. That's all it is. That's all it is. You're exciting electrons. You can excite electrons with solar energy. You can excite electrons with a water wheel. You can excite electrons with a windmill, okay? You can excite electrons with 5 hamsters and hamster wheels hooked to generators. It's that basic. You don't need nuclear energy. You don't need to dig up the entire state of Pennsylvania and Kentucky looking for coal. You don't need any of this stuff. It's a scam. We really have been duped so they can control the exciting of the electrons. That's what it's all about. There's a gatekeeper. Oh, you can't excite your electron unless you pay your bill. Right. So it doesn't have to be that way. And if you start making the switch so that you're using any other means besides fossil fuels and dangerous energy sources to excite those little electrons, you'll be entering the world the way it is today, because we are going there. Like I said, you're going to have to pre-order the Milwaukee Hatchet or your Cadillac. That's how new this stuff is. Guys who put the charger in for my car on this solar system in the house, it was only the 7th one that had ever been installed in the islands. Okay, this stuff is brand new junk. So there we have it, folks. Bill's comments today on using electric power tools and charging them by the sun. Get rid of the gasoline. You don't need that stuff. And maybe, how about a brief musical interlude? I've been spending a good part of COVID sitting around learning how to play lap steel. There's a little grin for you.